So today we're looking at the A.C.IV. This is an interesting tank, not only because it's an Australian tank, which the Australians didn't make many tanks, but it's also interesting because it looks like it's a post-war tank. It's not, by the way, but it looks like one, with its highly angled armour and very low profile. However, this tank isn't quite an MBC, it's still a medium tank, but it's a good one at that. So the gun it uses is the 17 pounder, which I'm sure you're familiar with as it's on many British tanks. There's only one shell you use with it as well, the one that you can see on screen. It can pen up to 190mm of armour, which is enough to defeat any enemy you'll come up against at 5.3. As for the armour, it may only be 63mm thick, and slightly thinner in some places on the front as well, but it's highly angled, making it rather hard to pen. However, when it does get penned, it does die rather easily because there's only 4 crew members, meaning that one round into the turret can knock out all 3 people in the turret, and it's dead. So let's see what it's like when in an actual combat situation. So you see here, I'm rolling up to take a shot at this Fiat that's running away. Hit it from very far away because it's a very nice and accurate gun. I take a round here from the Panther. It knocked out my driver and my gunner. However, the tank itself is fine. And he for some reason mounts me, which makes him bounce around there. I hit one, but it doesn't go through. And he keeps driving forward, so I push back to try and lift him in the air. He fires over me, and it gives me a clear shot into his lower frontal plate, killing him. No idea what he was doing there, but great for me, I guess. Then we move on down the hill and around the castle, where we spot a tiger, knock that out in one shot. We push through the town, and we find an AA gun, again knock that out in one shot. A Swedish guy pushes on us. Now he takes a shot at me, it bounces, and I knock him out in one shot. We stop and spot a Panther driving quite far away. We move up a little bit, take aim, and fire, and we knock him out as well. Now, as you can see from that, it was quite short because I've recently come back from a break off War Thunder and I haven't been playing as well, so my 13 kill games are not as easy to obtain, but as you can see, this thing is very effective. The gun is amazing at this tier, kills everything in one shot basically, and it bounced some really effective rounds like the Panthers. So as you can see, it's a very effective vehicle. So now we have to think about the downsides. The downsides are that it's really slow. I mean, its top speed isn't that bad. However, the acceleration on it is just awful, so it just makes it painful to use, really, in a lot of situations, especially going up steep hills. And quite often you get up-tiered quite heavily to things you can't beat, and when the Germans got all their stuff down-tiered, like the Panthers and whatnot, this thing stayed at the same battle rating, meaning it comes up against Panthers all the time, and Panthers are actually a little bit harder to kill. The Panther is a bit of a better tank than this thing, so it does need a tiny bit of a down tier, but not far, maybe just down to 5. However, overall it's really fun, it's a great tank, it's quite unique. Now, I think I've talked about the history a little bit here, because a lot of people think this tank never actually existed, which is only sort of true. Most people know that this chassis existed, and it was an Australian tank that used a 2 pounder. However, they did actually test the 17 pounder, and it worked. They actually ordered a lot of these tanks to be made. However, these tanks were cancelled when the war started to turn in favour of the Allies, and they weren't needed anymore. Now, where do we put it on the leaderboard? So, personally, I'm not sure where I want to put it, because it's good, but it's not great. I used to really love it before some of the things I come up against were down-tiered, making it a lot less effective than it used to be, but that doesn't mean it's bad. I think I'm going to put it just below the Independent. It seems quite low down, but that's just because we've done a lot of videos on good tanks that are very effective. So, thanks for watching, and please join the Discord so you can suggest other vehicles for me to make videos on, and I'll see you next time, whenever that may be. Thanks for watching.